Welcome to Reel, where we look at how relationships are portrayed in film so we can see more clearly what works and what doesn't work in our real-life relationships. Today's film, to be reviewed by TRF moderator Fleur Green, is Up in the Air with George Clooney. Now, this is a film that is rich in relationship portrayal and relationship issues. So much so, in fact, that we have divided this review into two parts. Part 1 discusses George Clooney's character, Ryan Bingham, and Part 2 focuses on the two most important female characters, Alex and Natalie. Now, to get started, let's look at a 1-minute trailer from the film itself.
To know me is to fly with me. This is where I live. When I run my card, the system automatically prompts the desk clerk to greet me with this exact statement.
Pleasure to see you again, Mr. Bingham.
It's these kinds of systemized friendly touches that keep my world in orbit.
So, Fleur, would you say that Ryan Bingham is relational or non-relational?
I would say pretty definitely he's non-relational. What we don't know at all from the movie is whether he's not relational because he truly doesn't want it. There's a lot of message. There are many messages in the movie about how it's baggage. People are like baggage to him. So maybe he really doesn't want it. What we see is that once he makes real connect with somebody, he does want it.
Right. But most of the movie, and what would you mean when you say he's non-relational? What does that mean to you?
It means it's not the center of his life for sure. It's not the center of everybody's life anyway, but it is the center of a lot of people's lives. So when somebody is literally non-relational, it means in their sort of cornucopia of things that they want in life, being in a relationship is really not in the bowl at all.
Well, that reminds me, in the forum we talk about 3 different kinds of relationships. Partnerships, companionships, and intimate relationships. Right? And the spectrum, if you will, is around how central a relationship is to somebody. So to be non-relational, I believe you're saying with Ryan, is he really is interested most of the film in a partnership.
Yeah, and even then only once in a while. And there are lots of people like that. And again, it's hard to know whether or not they want that partnership. They want only partnership, I'll put it that way. They only want partnership because they don't know how to have anything else, or they've never had anything else. And some of the roots of that can go into a childhood in which a person was not seen. If you weren't seen and related to very much as a child, you won't know how to do it. You won't have learned how to do it.
So you literally don't have the skills.
So you don't have the skills. Sometimes you don't have the preference.
Right. And
in other words, you've looked at and you've said, oh, I've got 80 years on the planet and I do not want to have real relationship. I want to go off into Africa, or I want to go take pictures in Siberia or something. That's what you want.
what would it be like for a woman to be in a relationship with Ryan Bingham?
A nightmare.
Are you sure about that?
It would be. And you know, it's interesting because there's a whole pattern that many, many, many women will do. Men do it to some degree, but women do it much more.
Which is?
The pattern is that, here is a man who doesn't want relationship. I'm going to prove to him that he really does want me. And I don't want to get too Freudian about it or anything like that, but some of those roots often will have to do with that the woman did not have an acceptable relationship with her own father. And therefore, the trying to get someone to love you is what she thinks love is. And then when you get them, then they're going to love you. And it's very likely that they aren't.
So this, what you're talking about here, is deep and unconscious pattern. Yes, that somebody has learned that unconsciously.
Right. It is deep and it is unconscious. However, if you're 30 years old, you really want a relationship, and you don't have one, take a look at every single one that you've been in relationship prior. And if you look carefully at it, you'll probably see a pattern. And the pattern very well may be not available, not available, not available. You're picking that, you're choosing that. And that's a case in which I would say your choosing mechanism is incorrect. You need to really examine the mechanism through which you are choosing partnership.